the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, the term flattening the curve was widely used, and it was also told that social distancing is the only way to prevent this infection from spreading further. And so lockdowns were imposed all over the world, but still the number of COVID-19 cases kept increasing. Since then, there's been this question that's bugging me, and that question is, does everyone contract this disease eventually? This is a very important question, and I'm sure most of you also would have thought about this now and then. This is a novel virus for which none of us have any existing immunity. The presence of asymptomatic spread makes this situation even worse. If each person with the disease infects 3 others, then about 65 to 70% of the population will be infected for sure. We can talk about herd immunity here, but that is again largely debatable. So from the given facts, it is well understood that whether we like it or not, whether we are being extremely careful or not, there are pretty good chances that we will be affected, and it looks like it is not a matter of if, but when we are going to be positive. So we must be prepared for such a scenario. Earlier we did not know many people who were infected, but as days go by, we see people close to us, either friends or family members or neighbors, getting infected. This will show us how close we are to the virus. But there is no need to panic. Of course, there will be stress and anxiety when we think about what if I am next, especially when there is a strong possibility that there will be no more lockdowns. Though COVID is deadly, we see that the number of people getting well is much higher than the number of people succumbing to the disease. So even if we contract the virus, it might not be very serious. A positive attitude is very important to deal with this challenge. If we recall, illness like typhoid and flu were deadly and people died in masses. But now we have vaccines for that. There will come a day when COVID will just be like the case of flu. Until then, our attitude towards the enemy is all that matters. But again, this does not mean that we should take things lightly. We should still take precautions, practice social distancing, wear masks and sanitize regularly. In spite of these precautions, if we do turn positive, then we must keep our mind strong. When we find that we have symptoms, we must immediately self-isolate and inform others around us. Many people fear isolation. Isolation can be hard, but it is an absolute necessity to stop the infection from spreading further. We must also inform the organization we work for about our situation or symptoms immediately. We should also alert everyone we came in close contact with previously. If you're from India, then use the Arogya Setu app and update your details. It helps to monitor how many people around you have COVID-19. I use that app too, and it is quite helpful. When I first heard that my friends contracted the virus, I was very scared too. I was more worried about the pre-symptomatic and asymptomatic infections which might cause me to pass on this infection to my family members even without my knowledge. But then I realized that what has happened, and I just have to deal with it when my time comes. We should also remember that just like the chances of contracting the virus are high, the chances of overcoming it is also high. So let's stay healthy physically and mentally.